What's going on, guys? Hey, it's Anthony with the Wrenched Out Garage. Thank you for tuning in. Here in the garage, looking at this kind of growing mess of stuff I've got. Tune-up parts, some fluids. I just got a bunch of cleaning and paint supply stuff. I'll talk about that in a minute. Wheels are sitting here. I'm in debate on whether I should just buy new tires or just swap them over to these guys, because there isn't a whole lot of life left in these. I mean, they still look good, but there's not a lot of life left in them. So I'm in debate on whether I should just swap the tires, run those for this year, get new tires next year, because the truck's gonna be parked for the winter. I may pull it into the garage and work on it in here. Anyways, if you guys have not subscribed, consider doing that. Hit the subscribe button down below. We always appreciate that. What we're talking about today is some cleanup, talking about the Nissan project here, and some of the stuff we're going to be doing to it. So currently it's sitting on jack stands because I was working on it. One thing I did do is I pressure washed a lot of this stuff, cleaned it all out, used some of this paint barrier stuff by Rustoleum, painted the frame, painted the upper control arms. Back here, painted the frame. I actually had to get more of it because I'm gonna clean out the back of the tank and then go around it. Now, I am going to be painting the diff, and I'm thinking about painting the drums. But ultimately, it's coming together really nice. Now, a couple of things I did notice with this truck. Now, the shocks seem to be doing okay. There's a lot of surface rust on them. There's the rear. Both sides look about the same, and then the front, but the thing is, the bushings are shot. They're dry rotting out. So I did order some new shocks and some sway bar links, because these links are pretty much shot too. So I will be upgrading the suspension. But as promised, when I did that, when I ordered the new parts, part of me was trying to stick to, and I still am trying to stick to, trying to bring this truck to today's standard. So I did go with some KYB, their highest range one they have for the truck. They're not the AGX. I can't remember what they're called. They're like the Gasso something. They're supposed to be an OEM upgrade. They're supposed to provide a stiffer and better all-around experience. I did read some reviews on it that people did to these trucks, and they said good things. So that's what I'm going to go with. Now, today, what we're going to do real quick, I will I'll end up cutting the video. I know I do that a lot, and there's multiple reasons why, because I do the little speed ramp and then we rip through it. But a lot of this stuff, like when I was painting the wheels and what we're about to do, it's just kind of boring because it's a lot of sit time. So I have this product. I've never used this before. I bought it at AutoZone. It's called Rust Dissolver. Looks like this. I did pressure wash the car. So what we're gonna do is turn this stuff on, and it's showing rotors and hubs and all that stuff. So we're gonna spray it on here and hope that it does something special here. Supposedly it does. Supposedly it does a good job. That's what it advertises. It's a gel. Make sure and get it all up in there. It's obviously very freaking kind of thick and nasty. Hit it on the rotor. Maybe even hit the caliper a little bit here. Get it the best I can. And then maybe we'll just hit this front bar here just to do kind of a test to see how good this stuff does. Okay, so there's the front one. Try to get it as best as I can here. One-handed, of course. All right, so there's that. And now I'll do the rear drum too, because I think I'm gonna go ahead and paint this guy. And so ultimately what it says to do is spray it on, let it sit, and it supposedly dissolves rust, leaving you a nice surface. And like I said, I will be more than likely painting these rear drums. Just paint them black with that rustoleum that I already used. And ultimately you just let this sit and then you spray it off. So I guess we'll see how good it does. So we'll be testing this product today. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the other sides pretty much the same way I'm doing this one. And we will take a look and see how well it does. According to the instructions, it says removes rust, protects bare metal up to 12 months. Always test. Let's see. Apply at about 70. It's about 70 here. Let's see. And then it says, you know, wait. So cleaning time for rust, medium to light rust dissolves in 10 to 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray the other side just like I did this side, and we'll see what it looks like here in 10 to 30 minutes. All right, so we just cleaned this stuff off. Take a look at this. I am very impressed by how well this really worked. So take a look at that. It's still drying a little bit, but I hit the axle. The axle's gonna need to be done again. But overall, it did an amazing job. I mean, it really did. Obviously the rotors, it did leave this residue on there. So I'm gonna need to clean the rotors up. But the hub looks a lot better. I'll end up cleaning up, it's just a residue from it. I did pressure wash it all off. But I mean, overall, this stuff did an incredible job. You do need to let it sit. You'll see it actually working right in front of you. The lug nuts are on because I am going to go ahead and paint these as soon as it dries. I'll give it probably like 10-15 more minutes, let it completely dry, and then I'll do those rear drums, finish cleaning it up. Everything's going really well as far as products and cleaning everything, and pretty much just the whole shoot match. The truck's coming along very nicely. It's coming along a lot quicker than I had expected. Obviously I've been throwing all kinds of I've thrown some money at it. I will be doing a build update. I built a sheet where I'll show you guys essentially what I've spent on this so far, because this build to me, it's like, I like the Nissan a lot. I think it's cool, but more or less is something that you can do to your truck, your car, pretty much anything. But this is a perfect example for me to kind of demonstrate on how to take something that's in pretty good shape and then kind of elevate it, build it for longevity, and everything else. And that's really what this is. Fixing some minor issues. I'm still working on this, where the window stuff was. That'll be cleaned up. And then I do have the paint to clean this up. We're gonna go ahead and clean this up, the trim, and then we're gonna go ahead and clean that up. And that pretty much concludes the major exterior repairs, with the exception of, I'm thinking that I might use that Herculiner stuff, because I think it would be kind of cool to build this thing essentially in my driveway. And that is where I will end up essentially scraping the whole bed with a scrub pad, and then do my lines on it, tape everything off, cover everything up so it's nice and clean, and then do a bed liner in it. And one of the main reasons I want to do a bed liner is just simply to protect the bed more or less, because then the bed liner's done, the rest of the stuff is going. I got the suspension stuff on order. I've got some cool aftermarket upgrades I'll be doing to the exterior as well. That'll be later on because the stuff's on order. I do got to take the bumper off. I will repaint the bumper, try to straighten out that edge right here, and much more. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Again, I'll put a link to this. So this rustoleum rust dissolver, it did a really good job. It doesn't need to be outside or in a highly ventilated area. It suggests that, pretty much says it right out of the gate because of the chemicals that are in it. It did do very good, though. You're also going to need a hose, pressure washer preferably, but if you look at this, this was perfectly clean. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's wet, but there's a bunch of junk. There's a whole bunch of junk and rust that is now sitting on the ground. It was perfectly clean because the other day when I was working on this and I was painting and I was cleaning off and doing all of that, I cleaned the whole ground. Now there's a whole bunch of shit all over the ground again, and that's just from this. So super exciting steps that I'm taking. I'm feeling really good about this build so far. To build a kind of a cool old new truck, that is the goal. That's what we're going for. That's what we're building. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Anthony. This is the Wrenched Out Garage. Again, if you guys have not subscribed yet, hit subscribe. We've got this build. We got the Chevy behind it. We've got the Razor. We're not doing anything with that. We've got a lot of new DIY stuff going on here in the garage that I'd like to share with you guys. I appreciate everyone that is subscribed, that is giving us thumbs up. It's much appreciated. So, as always, if you're out riding or driving, do it safely, and we'll see you in the next video.